Hello, good morning, good afternoon, or indeed good evening, depending on when you are watching. I'm James Innes, the Jobs Guru, and today I'm going to be answering Katie's question about her office romance. So, today's question is from Katie in Birmingham. Dear James, I've recently started in a relationship with one of my colleagues in the office, but we're keeping it a secret. We're not part of the same team, but we do have similar roles within the company. We both work long hours and fell in love through our shared interests. Neither wants to leave our jobs, and it's an increasingly hard market to move anyway. Yes, not half. However, as our relationship gets more serious, it is becoming harder not to let things slip. Should we continue to keep it a secret, or should we be honest with our employers? Are couples in the workplace frowned upon? Well, Katie, in Birmingham, I think I should perhaps first of all congratulate you for evidently being happy and in love. It is, though, inevitably rather tricky that you work together. I can certainly see that. Employers' attitudes towards workplace relationships vary really quite dramatically. I know that some companies even have a policy about this sort of thing. There was one just the other day hitting the headlines, which, at least in my humble opinion, is a tad ridiculous, to be honest. However, such policies can sometimes be useful, yes, in terms of at least providing guidelines for staff. Might help you, which can include requesting that you inform your managers as soon as is reasonably possible. A first step for you, I think, is therefore to identify if your organisation does indeed have any sort of policy which covers this type of situation. In the absence of any formal guidelines, my advice is very much that honesty is the best policy. Not least, it would be much better for your employers, the cat's agreeing with me, not least would it be much better for your employers to hear about your relationship from you directly than for them to hear about it, find out some other way, through the grapevine, for example. Do remember that you have every right to date a colleague. It's most definitely not illegal, and it's a basic human right. Article 8 of the European Convention on Human Rights, to be precise. Yes, I looked it up. Nobody should frown upon it. In a nutshell, as long as you and your partner have continued and do continue to perform your roles to a high standard, and you leave any possible domestic disputes behind you when you get to work, it really shouldn't be an issue for any reasonable and fair-minded employer. Workplace romances are really very common. Normally, it's not an issue, but it can very quickly become one if you start going to considerable lengths to keep it all a secret. Honesty is the best policy. Viewers, hit that YouTube thumbs up if you agree. Thumbs down, of course, if you don't. A final word on the subject, I want to talk about unfair dismissal. You need to check for your precise situation, but in general, if you've been continuously employed for more than 2 years and are then fired for reasons which you feel relate directly, and of course unreasonably, to your office romance, then you could be entitled to claim for unfair dismissal. A lot depends, of course, on what is and isn't reasonable. I saw a recent survey in which 3% of respondents admitted to having actually been caught in the act at work. Now, this is, whilst undoubtedly a lot of fun, not considered to be acceptable behaviour, and in such circumstances, your employer has every right to dismiss you, both for gross misconduct. What do you reckon, viewer? Let me know in the comments below. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe. Now, I'm always open to interesting new questions from my viewers, so if you have a workplace, jobs, careers, or employment-related question for me, then do please type into that comment section below, and I may well feature it in a future episode of this show. And if I do, then one of my limited edition collector's item Jobs Guru coffee mugs will be yours. I know you want one. You know you want one. And now Katie in Birmingham, well, she has one. Thank you for watching today. Keep safe and be well, my friends. Goodbye.